what's going on, guys? This is Mias, and today I'm actually going to be reviewing my friend James' deck list for X-Saber Tri-Brigade. Absolutely crazy, man. How do you even come up with this? This is insane, and it's not even like it was just a deck out of nowhere, because he's been topping locals consistently for the past, I don't know how many weeks, and he was like, yo, Yasin, is there a way you could actually maybe find a way to improve this deck? And you know me, man, I'm always doing those deck reviews, and if you want your deck to be reviewed, all you have to do is visit my Discord server. Link will be in the description box below, and then you pretty much post your deck list in the channel deck list submissions, and I will be looking at everything in sequence. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And also huge shout outs to James again for submitting this deck list. The link to his YouTube channel, since he is also a YouTuber, will also be in the description box below. But that's enough for the intro. Let's get right into it. So he's only playing 3 hand traps, and that is 3 Ash. Now, just by seeing this deck list, I feel like there's not a lot of power for going second, so I would actually kind of focus on adding more hand traps, especially something like a Gamma, because when you have a Rescue Cat, since you actually have to send yourself from their field to the graveyard as a cost, when you can actually get ashed by Rescue Cat, it's when you have nothing on your field. So if you get ashed and you have Gamma, it's Happy Land City, because your Rescue Cat still resolves, and you play through the Ash, and you have the ability to make like something like an Omega, which is pretty huge, and this deck is really good at synchro summoning. I mean, X-Sabers were pretty much like the original synchro spam deck in a way, or synchro and XC spam back in, I don't even know how long that was, man. I was born in 2014, and this deck was played way before me, so really sick things. And this deck can actually link summon and do much more than that, so yeah, especially when you see all the Tri-Brigades, which is freaking cool. Anyways, Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, I agree with this. This is one of the best cards that you can summon with Symmorg. And the thing with Wind Barrier Statue is that it's actually not a bad card to draw. You can draw it and it's still good. It's kind of like if you were playing anti-meta stun, if you win the dice roll in case you draw this and you don't have full combo, because you can at least go normal summon and pass, or normal summon with a bunch of trap cards, pass. Whereas if you draw something like an Apex Avion with bad cards in your hand, you can't play the game. So would you rather make your bad hands better with a card like Barrier Statue, or your good hands significantly better with a card like Apex Avion? I feel like the answer is a bit clear. I think Apex Avion should not be played if you have the ability to summon something like a Wind Barrier Statue instead, and having like too many copies of special summonable monsters off of the Symmorg Link monster is just a win more. I don't think you should actually focus on that. Focus on making your deck more consistent and better going second, and you should actually see better results already. But yeah. And then also playing 2 Melfi monsters. At first, I didn't really understand why they were there, especially since there are no rank 2 Melfi monsters in the extra deck. But I actually finally understood that Rescue Cat summons 2 level 3 or lower beast monsters. So 2 level 3 or lower, not necessarily the same name. It's not like Rescue Rabbit. So you can summon 1 Melfi and then 1 X-Saber Arabellum. Level 3 tuner plus level 2 non-tuner equals Naturia Beast. But I don't really think it's worth it, honestly. So I wouldn't do that. And honestly, I would definitely cut the 2 Melfi monsters, because Naturia Beast, sure, it was historically really good, but think about it. You really are going to be playing 2 cards that are just really sketch in your deck. It's not really like we're talking about Melfi deck. It's really just an X-Saber deck with Tri-Brigade cards, and you're really going to clog up your deck with 2 extra cards that only serve a purpose for Naturia Beast, or if you're really doing something with them, you're going normal summon pass, and it's not great. Your opponent isn't going to be under like a tremendous amount of pressure, especially since Kathy just searches. Searching a card during your opponent's turn isn't really good, and there's not like the Hop Ear Squadron anyway, so you can make the Herald. You're really barely doing anything at all. And then Melfi Puppy, there's also not Calentosa, so you're not interrupting your opponent. So meaning that these cards are just definitely not worth playing just to make your Rescue Cat better. So I would definitely focus on cutting these 3 cards. Like I said, try to find space for Gamma and Driver, but don't worry, because we're actually going to figure this out soon enough. Anyways, 3 Rescue Cat, of course, that makes sense. 2 Tri-Brigade Fructor or Fractale. Yeah, I mean, you're playing 3 Tenki, and Tenki can also search your Knight, so being able to also search Fractor makes sense, and not playing 3 of it is also pretty good, so I like playing 2. And then as a matter of fact, I would actually also argue to play only 2 Seras, since the Tri-Brigades, they stop becoming good when you draw too many of the sames, because they just, I mean, I don't know, they're not really good. So yeah, I mean, they're good, but not if you draw like way too many Tri-Brigade monsters. So 2, 2, 2 would be a perfect ratio there, and then with the 3 cards that we cut, that would be 3 Gamma and 1 Driver, and then obviously 3 X-Saber Airbellum with 2 Bogart Knight. This card is actually, if I recall correctly, kind of like a special summon from the hand, and then this would discard a card from your opponent's hand when it inflicts battle damage. So it's not great, but it's a tuner, so that's kind of it. And then Dark Soul, well, first of all, this card gets a 10 out of 10 for its design because it looks really good, and it's kind of like a Skarm. I mean, it's literally just like a Skarm, but a bit worse because it has to be sent from the field to the graveyard. And also, I realized that it's a really weak monster, which allows you to go for Salamangreat Elmirage, but there are no Elmirage there at all. So, is there something that I'm missing? Because I feel like at least kind of trying to make... Imagine if you have like something like Dark Soul and just a bunch of anti-opponent cards. I would at least try to play like the Elmirage just so you can kind of get like a proactive engine going, but maybe that's just me and maybe that is incorrect and you should kind of hold this card, but honestly I don't know. And the Bogart Knight is really, really good. You can actually summon itself as well, right? So, wow, okay, that's cool. You can always make rank 4 plays if you have like 2 of them. Maybe try to play, I don't know, like a rank 4 in your deck, and then... Zeus? I don't know, why aren't you trying to focus on also making Xyz monsters? Because, yeah, I feel like, especially with Rescue Cat being able to be like a potentially 1-card Zeus, I would definitely try to do that. So if you can actually make a bit of space in your extra deck, potentially cut the Naturia Beast, definitely keep the Barkion, I want to say, because you don't have to cut any other main deck monsters to make Barkion. You can summon Dark Soul and Airbellum, make Barkion, and then you're going to get your Enphase Search with Dark Soul, which is really fantastic. But apart from that, yeah. Anyways, 3 Full Troll. I kind of know this card because, yeah, I mean, a friend of mine actually told me that there was kind of like a loop in order to summon just a ridiculous amount of X-Saber monsters in one turn, and this was actually one of the key pieces in it, because if you control 2 or more X-Sabers, you can summon it from your hand. Obviously, no effect is hard once per turn, and then you can pretty much revive back a level 4 lower X-Saber monster from your graveyard. So yeah, it kind of allows you to do some really loopy things, and you can actually hand loop your opponent with Gothams, and this is the real Gothams deck. This time, it actually is. So, oh man. However, I don't know if this deck is more efficient than Virtual World at hand looping your opponent for 3 or 4 cards, because Virtual World, in terms of hand looping, they never really got a hit. They only lost VFD, and VFD obviously had nothing to do with the hand looping, so yeah, maybe Virtual World might be the better hand loop deck, so yeah, we never know. Anyways, this is pretty cool, but it obviously is unplayable when you don't have 2 or more face-up X-Saber monsters on your field, so it's going to be a brick more often than not, I feel like, kind of, unfortunately. But again, hopefully I'm missing something, and maybe, hopefully I'm wrong. Anyways, there's also X-Saber, Ragio, Jura. I mean, as a matter of fact, the majority of them are just X-Sabers. Only the level 3s, they look like they are the... Oh no, actually no, only Airbellum. The other ones are all XX. Oh wow, that's... At least they didn't go like XXX, that would have been a bit too many X's in one, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, Rajura, that's the level 1 tuner, I believe? No, not even. When this card is normal or special, you can add 1 X-Saber monster from your graveyard to your hand. This card doesn't look good, like, whatsoever. Yeah, I don't think I would be playing this card, like, at all. But I guess you can make, I don't know, a Herald of Arclight with Rescue Cat. You go into Airbellum and then this guy, and then you make Herald, but that doesn't really sound too great. And yeah, I mean, no, actually, never mind. The reason why you're playing this is because you can actually revive it back with Full Troll, and then recycle back another Full Troll, and then summon it again, and then recycle back. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the loop, sorry. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of involved in the combo, but in terms of actual just card design, it's not a great card. Like, in practical Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's going to end up being, like, just not the greatest. Even Full Troll, like, as great as it is combo-oriented wise, it's... I don't know, it's also a card that comes with its own share of flaws. Anyways, Ares Rock Sunrise. I actually don't like this card as much as Monster Reborn, because Reborn is obviously just way better. You can revive anything with it, including your Windbearer statue, whereas this is only for beast monsters, and to make matters worse, it doesn't really have a relevant extra bonus effect. It only revives back from your own graveyard, whereas Monster Reborn, one really beautiful thing about it is that once you out your opponent's Dragoon, you can revive back their Dragoon onto your field, because it's properly summoned with Red Eyes Fusion. So I would actually cut their Rock Sunrise, so just so you can actually play more board breaking cards, so maybe Forbidden Drop in your main deck. The issue is that if X-Saber Dark Soul actually had an effect where even when it is sent like from the hand to the graveyard, just like an actual legit Scar, I think it would have been a bit better, but it's definitely okay. And then Call by the Grave, obviously I agree with that. Triple Tenki, are you that desperate to search for these guys, like the Fractor and Knight? Or is that kind of all you can do? Because I don't know, it's not really like it was a starter, but I definitely understand that Borgard Knight is actually a pretty good card. So sure, I'll give it to you, maybe 3 Tenki. But if Tenki ever becomes like problematic and cloggy for you, probably consider cutting it to 2, honestly, because I really don't think you need it that much. So maybe if anything, cut this to a 0, and then obviously cut this to 2. Foolish Burial, I mean, I'm not going to argue too much with this. You can send the Kit and the Nerval, so that's nice. Instant Fusion for Fusionist, that's actually brings me way back. That's really nice. And then Monster Reborn, obviously, 1 for 1. Ooh, okay, sure. I mean, yeah, there are 2 monsters that you can summon off of 1 for 1, and this actually gets a summoned, some on-summon effect, even on special summon. Beautiful. And then, okay, this card, I don't understand why it's played. I just don't feel like it has a really relevant effect. It doesn't really generate you actual card advantage, so I wouldn't really consider playing this card. I would also cut it. Maybe try to fit in some Ghost Bells in your deck, potentially. But if you play Gamma on top of Ash with the cards that I said you should actually be cutting, you shouldn't have a problem with that. But yeah, anyways, for the extra deck, Fusionist, obviously, Cloud Castle, oh, that's cute, oh. It's so adorable to see Enter Blathnir as well, and Cloud Castle, but not a single Virtual World card. Finally, man, oh, it feels good. Alright, Naturia Barkion, the beast that I said I don't really like too much. Trishula, ooh, that's pretty interesting. You can actually use 3 level 3s, but that's kind of like the only way to really do it efficiently. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. X-Saber Gothams, of course, Yanlei. Oh my god, this one is a bomb. It's such a good card. When this card is Synchro Summon, you can select, well, that's just showing how old it is, select and destroy up to 3 spell or trap cards on the field. Insane. Phantom Fortress, Ender Blathnir. Oh yeah, of course, Double Dragon Lords, this card's great. Aplusa. Okay, this card is also really good. I don't know how to pronounce it. Blah blah blah, the Desperate Doom Eagle. It's a Link 3 that basically allows you to DD Crow a monster from your opponent's graveyard during either player's turn. So yeah, pretty nice. And then Symmorg, Bird of Sovereignty, of course. Tri-Brigade Fenrich, the Baron Blossom. Again, such a complicated name for no reason. But yeah, I mean, it's a okay card. It's a Link 2, so it doesn't have to be broken. This one, on the other hand, is kind of really good. And it makes Tenki even better, so yeah, I'll give it to you. Also, the Link 3, I think, is not great, but the Link 4, Ominous Omen, is fantastic. It outs Dragoon, you see, but it banishes, so you won't be able to Monster Reborn it after. But yeah, anyways, for the, side deck, actually, one Zuking Alpha, which technically would be searchable by Melfi Caddy, but since we're trying to cut the Melfi cards, this shouldn't actually be there. Consider playing Pancratops instead. And then 2 Lancia, I would actually try to bump this up to 3. Dark Symmorg, yeah, you have to banish a Dark and a Wind in order to summon this, and your opponent cannot set any cards, so you obviously won't be able to summon this too often, but you're trying to summon it with Symmorg, so your opponent, if they are playing a trap deck, they won't be able to play too much. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of respectable. Have you ever considered Anti-Spell Fragrance? So your opponent cannot use spells and traps with Dark Symmorg, Lock, and Anti-Spell. That's actually kind of adorable. It's pretty disgusting, actually. But yeah, and then the Dimensional Shifter, I feel like it hurts you so much. It actually hurts you so much because you can't even go into Rescue Cat. You can't get the effect of any Tri-Brigade card. So, I don't know, I wouldn't actually play Dimension Shifter at all. Nibiru, on the other hand, I'd actually try to bump this up to 3. The Gamma and Driver obviously would be in the main deck, so we would have so much more space. Infinite Impermanence honestly shouldn't even be there. At this point, you should probably have Dark Ruler, Lightning Storm, or Evenly, stuff like that. Potentially Kaijus, the Wind Kaiju, But that is just, I mean, those are just my thoughts. But anyways, if you guys have any other comments or feedback or suggestions for this deck list, please let me know. I feel like James already kind of did a good job, but we can always improve even further. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck review. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and it motivates me so much to keep making videos like these, and I will see you next time. Peace.